update. I actually made some progress this time. As you can see, it is pretty much all back together. The hot side and the cold side are on for the last time. I went ahead and wrapped the headers, and I wrapped those really great looking hot side pipes. I hated to, but I'm more concerned about heat control with all this stuff jammed in here as tight as it is. I still need to make the heat shields for my air filters, and I need to wrap this radiator hose. More important than that though is I got the brakes. They're done. It actually has a brake pedal. This is the JAGS manual prop valve. I made a heat shield. Protects everything from the downpipes and the headers. And I've started wiring the car. I have the engine harness probably about 60% done, maybe 70% done. You can see right there, see the labels. Every connection is labeled. All the injectors are labeled. You can see how the harness lays in there nice and tight. Everything's shrink wrapped with Tech Flex. This side also. And the map sensor. I need to wire up both NOx sensors, the cam, the crank, oil pressure. And then I need to wire up the fuel pressure, which I'm thinking I'm gonna just tap into right here. Just put the sending unit right here. For my fuel pressure, I need the wire up the sensors for the dome pressure, and I need to get my water pump drilled and tapped for the cooling system pressure sensor. And then once I get that done, and I also need to wire up the alternator wires, alternator control wires. I'll be able to get these wires, get the harness. I'll get all that pinned into the Mega Performance bulkhead connectors. It's going to be kind of tricky because I actually got to run all of that through the heat shrink and the Tech Flex and the boots, then pin it, and then go back and heat shrink everything and clean everything up in the harness so it's all nice and tight. As you can see, I kept the injector harness nice and slim. Everything's tucked in there. Everything's labeled. This is the main sensor harness. It's all lays in there nice and tight. So that's where I'm at right now. I do have the dashboard back in it, and I put the body harness back in it, and it's hard to see in there. So now I got to start wiring everything up. I have to mate. This is a GM kit. Well, it's a universal kit, but it came with GM switches, ignition switch and headlight switch. So I have to adapt that over to the factory Chrysler ignition switch and wiper switch and headlight switch. So I don't think that'll be too hard. I can make it work. Worst case is I'll have only 1 or 2 speeds on my wipers, but I'm not too concerned about that. Get my ass in here. You can see my Raspberry Pi display. I get people asking me all the time if this is a tablet, and it's not. It's an actual digital display. I'm trying to get how thin it is. You can see in there. So I still need to figure out what gauges. I'm going to put 2 analog gauges, 1 on each side of it. And I have the pod right here for my wideband gauge, but I don't know if I'm going to use that. I don't know if I'll even put a gauge there or not. Right now I've got my Autometer EGT gauge, my Procomp EGT gauge, and my fuel level. This will work with the sending unit that's back in my RCI cell. And then I got the monster tack. So I don't know what I'm going to put here. I might put a mechanical boost gauge and maybe oil pressure. So I can show everything that's in these gauges here. I can show it on the display. But it'd be nice if I want to go full screen with, you know, say the speedometer. Then I don't have to worry about missing anything else, missing one of these parameters. I took a Sawzall and a cutoff wheel, and I cut about 70% of the dash supports out of the inside of the dash. So you can actually take this dash out with, what is it, 5 screws and 2 bolts, and the dash will physically come out. Gutted both the airbags, so there's no airbags in there anymore. Took the airbag out of here, and I had to put that cover back on because it's pretty appropriate. I've got the patch panels all riveted in, covering the holes where the shifter was and the holes in the firewall. The last remaining holes where the fresh air door came in and the blower motor resistor came in. I'm getting ready to order a black carpet kit. You can actually get a carpet kit for these that doesn't have all the holes cut in it. It's just a universal kit for these, so I'm going to put that in here so everything will be nice and clean. Just for sake of simplicity right now, I'm going to keep these seats. Eventually I'm going to go to race seats, but I want to drive this thing at least sometime soon, so for now I'm going to use these. I'm going to cut off these brackets where the center console was, and then I'm going to build me a bracket for my TCI Outlaw shifter, so I'll put it right about here. I put this old man tonneau cover on here just because the paint was peeling off the inside of the bed, and I thought it looked like ass. And my fuel cell's in there. I didn't want anybody messing with it, and my battery. I'm going to have the meth tank back there, and my small onboard air tank for the dome control is going to be in the bed. So I just didn't want anybody messing with it, and I think having it on there kind of adds a little bit to the sleeper look, even though the drag radials and the front dump exhaust kind of gives it away, but I still think it looks good. And you can kind of see through there. So, if somebody's not paying attention in Mexico, they're gonna get a surprise. So, but that's where I'm at right now with it. So I'm really trying to push to start this thing in the next few weeks. I'm getting really excited about it. It's just so much work. I work on average 55 hours a week, and I've probably put another 25 a week into the truck. So, you know, I'm here 80 hours a week, sometimes more than that. There's nights where I don't leave here till midnight, and I get here at a little after 7 in the morning. So it just makes for a long day. But I'm really trying, guys. So hope you appreciate this update. If you like it, thumbs up. If not, thumbs down. Tell me I'm stupid. Tell me you like it in the comments. If you want to see more, click subscribe. Thanks, guys.